Hello and welcome, this is n8-bit, and I'm going to do a little bit of a let's play for the latest internet levels, the expert levels. These are remix levels that, for whatever reason, the team at Super Meat Boy decided to make ridiculously hard. Some of these have pretty good level design and definitely a good aesthetic value to them, but they are going to kick your ass repeatedly. If you ever watch Karate Kid Part 3, it's kind of like all those villains pairing up and just whooping your ass at once. As you can see with this video, I had a really tough go with that initial jump segment. After that, most of my deaths were pretty just stupid deaths. I would get a little bit too nervous and jump straight into a saw. I wound up going with this format versus some of my speed runs just because I wanted to give a little bit more of an authentic experience, and to be honest, these levels are way too hard for me to really attempt to do much of a speed run. Plus, they just came out today, so it'll take a little bit of time. This one that you're seeing right now is the only level where I did a clean run on my first go. It was one of my favorite levels from the original Meat Boy, and at times you can kind of see me stop, and the gears are kind of working at that point, because when you get that far in a level, you really don't want to fuck it up. There's nothing that's more controller throwing inducing than when you get all the way to Bandage Girl and do something to just completely ruin your chances. This one's a pretty good example of that. There's those two saws, and really this stage isn't that difficult, but as you can see from my death there, got a little bit too excited. This is one of those levels where the very first jump is very difficult to pull off, but the rest of the level is pretty cool and easy to get through. I really like the style on this one. It kind of has this, I don't know if it'll show up too much on the YouTube clip, but sort of an old film grain look to it, and it kind of reminds me of all those old horror movies with Bela Lugosi and stuff, especially with all the weird needles and whatnot. This level's awesome because it's named after a Ghostbusters villain, Gozer the Destructor. Hopefully I got that one right, otherwise some Ghostbusters fans probably gonna flame me out there. But you can't really see it too well. Again, with the replays, it doesn't really show the unlocking mechanism work appropriately, but it goes really fast, so you have to time your jumps pretty pixel perfect at times to get through. This one, despite the countless deaths I suffered, I really like this level. It's one of those that you have to you work through it a couple of times and you wind up figuring out a little bit more as you go. And so by the time that you play through the level a few times, you really start to feel like a platforming god, since you can just run through it without too much of an issue. Of course, the first 20 or 30 times, or I don't know, perhaps 100, or depending on your skill level, it can be pretty daunting. But as you can see from that jump right there, that took me a little bit to get down, but you know, once you figure out the pattern, it's pretty easy. Again, like the Gozer stage, the unlocking mechanism doesn't really show up too well since I'm running through it, but again, you can get the idea. You need to collect the keys in order to unlock certain areas and then get to Bandage Girl. This one, Super Shaft, kind of reminds me of the end boss to Hell, in that it's a little bit like Simon Says. Each time you play, you don't really know what to expect, so you kind of have to do this level all in one go. You can't really do it and then come back to it, since it requires a lot of memorization and a lot of muscle memory goes into accomplishing it. This level, aside from the first couple jumps, is actually one of the easier levels that I found. Again, you need to run because the whole thing's unlocking behind you. I just have one more video. You saw that I skipped 1-8 Flex, and you're probably wondering why. I have a video that kind of explains that. That level is just insanely hard, and really one of the few that just made me completely go apeshit and complain over the difficulty. Most of these are pretty skill-based. They are challenging, but you get a sense that you're able to beat it. With that one, it just seemed like absolute luck. So I'll try to get back to that, and I'll include that in part 2 of the series. Just wanted to do a quick recap. So this is the first, 11 levels minus that stage 8. So I'll get working on that and hopefully have that uploaded soon. Thanks for watching.